morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you on Cyclone, it's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Let's do the final of the three scenarios included with the standalone BR442 Talent DLC. The scenario is called Rush to Garmisch, so I guess we're going to Garmisch today, and it's in the winter. This is going to be fun. Let's get started. Driver, there isn't a moment to lose. Let the passengers on board and then shoot off to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Shoot off, calling at all stations, but please be careful due to the bad weather. Okay, we're gonna open doors, and we're probably gonna have some action at the station because these scenarios in Germany tend to have a lot of trains moving by on the route. So, oh yeah, look at that. Didn't take long. Whee! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Reverser up. Headlights are already on because these trains start with the headlights on for some reason. I'm assuming this is a service in progress, but we could just be starting here. Just going to wait for permission to start. Doors are closing. We're off. Let's not overdo the engine at first since we are in winter conditions. We could get some drive quality problems here. But we are going to get ourselves up to our initial speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour, not the 100 that we're being labeled as. There's a 60 sign coming up on the junction. There it is. So a small increase from here. We are on our way from Weilheim, Oberbay to Huglfing. Our ultimate destination is Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Now the 100 sign has disappeared super early here. We still have to wait for the 100 to get to the back of the train. We just don't know where it is. I figure it'll be in a couple seconds. There it is. So we can now start speeding up to the 100. We can then start speeding up to the 140. We did not turn the wipers on. That was an amateur mistake. Not that it really helps us much anyway, because there's not much for us to see other than, you know, speed limit signs that I'm relying on a HUD for anyway. So I could drive blind if I wanted to. The 140 sign has reached the back of the train, so we can proceed to 140 now. We're going to be going by the polling area. Polling is a no longer open station. It has been removed from the route landscape here. But we still have the memory, marked by the two tracks that it splits into around where the station used to be and the old station building, which is visible. And a small amount of lag as the stuff in the distance loads. There you go. I do have distant object loading on, so I am getting the full view in terms of distant objects here. So anything that appears in the distance within a certain range is loading. I'm not waiting for it to just pop in like I did in the past when I didn't know that was a setting. Of course, the little problem with that is I had to put the quality on medium because some of the routes that I've been playing would have problems if I tried to play on high quality. Even though I have one of those 1080 graphic, or not 1080, 1060 graphics cards, that's not good enough today for games. That's a first generation. There's some third generation stuff out there that does a lot better now, and I've heard that one of those really expensive graphic cards can actually make this game run a lot better on high quality. I just can't afford it right now. I do take donations, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to help me make my videos better. I will not object to that possibility. But then I'll have to learn how to install a graphics card in this thing. Been a long time since I've done that. I learned how to do it for a PCI card I put in once. It was actually an old graphics card I had for an older computer. I did put that one in myself, but it's been a long time since I've done that. I'm sure I could do it still, but given there's one in there, it's probably a bit of a mess trying to switch them around, or maybe I just put the new one in. I didn't just decommission the old one. I don't know. But yeah, the one I have right now is still doing a good job with a lot of the games I have. Just some of the newer stuff might have problems, like the occasional train simulator route. Loading Leipzig is definitely a chore for this game. People complain about 15 frames per second around Jamaica. Don't worry, I get that too. It actually looks like it runs fine for me, even at that. Just slightly slow from time to time, but at least if you can maintain 15 and above, it at least seems stable and you don't even notice. It's the little spurts of lag that are more annoying. Okay, we're going to start slowing down now because I do suspect in this winter weather we are going to have problems coming to a stop, so I need to get the speed down pronto without having to rely on sand. And my rate of slowing down is not where I want to be right now, so this is actually a little concerning. A little more brakes, please. Okay, easing it back off a little now. Moved it back to minimum brake for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and apply more brakes now. Back to a minimal brake. Once again, we're going to do heavier brakes now. Now we're getting into the orange brakes to bring it down a little bit there. And I reacted for a second because I heard the other train in my ear all of a sudden. So I'm going to coast for a moment because we do have time to open the doors here. Take advantage of the opportunity to coast into the right position here. For me, I'm going to call this the right position. If I can stop right here, that would be fantastic. Minimal brake, and we're going to get the rest of the speed off. The doors have been opened at Huglfing, Gillet 1, or Platform 1. Leaving Huglfing, our next stop is one of the names that for some reason took me a little while to learn. Uffing am Staffelsee, I believe is how you say it. Our speed limit coming out of Huglfing is 140 kilometers per hour. We are going to be approaching a 100 stretch as we go up a hill here. And then we're going to hit another 140 as we go up another hill. And this will be a very steep hill we're going to see in a moment. You can see the 140 further ahead. Because I know we're going to be limiting to 140, I'm not going to increase my speed beyond the 100 right now. Maybe a wee bit if I have the room, but I'm going to have to bring it right back down anyway. So I'm not going to be able to stay at it for very long. That's why I'm also not at full power right now. I'm only at about 50% power to control my speed increase to the 100. And I might actually have a little room here. I could have actually taken advantage of a little bit of space here where I could have gone probably up to 110 or 120. I'm going to go ahead and just push up a wee bit to get a little bit of extra speed here. But I'm going to bring it right back down. So we're going to coast now. And down to, there we go, that'll work. So back to 30% power to try to maintain the 100 as we go up a 1 in 105 gradient. Not too bad. Because we're now at exactly 100. That gets rid of the decimal. I'm not going to try to play with the hello. What happened there? That was weird. Okay, back to minimum power. I think the gradient started to smooth out, so my speed suddenly accelerated and I hit 101 for a moment. This is why you don't flirt with the very cap of the speed limit unless you actually have a timing issue, and then you have no choice. And having to play a scenario like that is just not cool. You don't want to play a scenario like that. You'd rather adjust the timing and do it yourself. Under something doable. Back up to 140 for a little while until we need to drop our speed for our stop at Uffing am Staffelsee. You see the 110 before the station. I have actually the station's about 2.5 kilometers away now, so we're going to need to start slowing down anyway. I'm just going to leave the train on a coast setting. I got my burst of speed that I needed. I should be on time at this stage. I should be well on time at this stage. We don't have to arrive for another minute and a half after our ETA says we're going to be there, but we're going to lose time on that ETA anyway. We're going to get some kind of a speed warning probably. Let's find out. Ooh, flashing. I didn't see the number on that. Was that a 6? Or an 8? We're going to assume it's a 6. Yeah, at least it's going to make my stopping at the station a lot easier, that's for sure. Just have to get down there now. So we're trying to let it coast down the rest of the way. I'm going to need to give another burst down, I believe. Like, right there. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Now, if I go to minimum power, that's putting too much on. Okay, so I'm down to 60. Let's see if I was right. I was right. That was a 6. I didn't see it very well, so maybe it just needs to... Maybe in real life it is actually that dim, and it's hard to see. But as a train driver who drives the area normally, you would know that's a 60 anyway most of the time if you do this journey all the time. So you would expect to be dropping speed, and... You know what? If our passengers are 30 seconds late, who cares? They can deal with 30 seconds. The ultimate customer service. We make sure you're late whenever we want to. Because we have to drive safely. We're entering a 110, but we're coming to a stop anyway. So that 110 is going to tick over as we're coming to a stop at the station. There it is. We can now go 110. Let's not do it. So I'm just doing a small brake application. As I get close to the end of the platform, I am going to go ahead and increase that brake. For right now, though, I'm still in good shape. I mean, based on my timing for the stop, I'm in super good shape. Now we're coming to the end of the platform, so I'm increasing that brake application. You can see that red signal on the other line there, which has nothing to do with us. That is not what I wanted to hear. Well, that's going to be annoying. I'm going to get away from this. So, welcome to Uffing am Staffelsee, where we're going to sound like we're in the middle of a crossing, even though we're not even at one. So, yeah. Whew, now that's over. Leaving Uffing am Staffelsee, our next stop is going to be Murnau, where we finished the first of these 3 scenarios. So let's go there again, and we're going to head in the other direction through all those stations again. At some point, I'm going to come back and play the Skyhook scenario pack, or at least some of them, maybe a few at a time, to fill some time here and there. But I do have to introduce the other German routes as well. Munich to Munich to Augsburg is the one I'm trying to think of. Munich to Augsburg is one I definitely need to do. It's got the most workshop content apparently. I need to do the other part of this route beyond Munich-Garmisch-Partenkirchen heading to Innsbruck. Notice that the first of those 3 scenarios had a rolling start not on the Innsbruck segment, but on the other segment that is not continued from Garmisch, interestingly enough. So it's a service not from Innsbruck, but from somewhere else. So I've gone ahead and moved the train into a coast setting for a moment. I'm going to lose a little bit of speed there, but that's okay. We have lots of time for this stop. It looks like a whole minute to spare at this point. We are not going very far to get to Murnau. We're only another 3.5 kilometers away, which means it's going to be on the HUD probably in about 10 seconds. Is anyone timing that? Was that 10 seconds? Might have been 11. I don't know. That was close. Train is back to a coast setting at 105. Going to keep an eye on the signals to see if there's any kind of warning for up ahead. But I'm going to probably drop the 60 anyway because I have to be careful with this weather today anyway. Here comes our warning for whatever the signal is going to tell us to do. I saw a flashing. That might have been another 60. Well, let's bring it down. You don't take a chance. If you think there's signals telling you need to slow down to a slower speed, you do it. Unless the timing is absolutely cramped and you just feel like you have to take that chance, which I do from time to time. Yeah, it's still flashing. I'm going to assume I just have to get down to 60. There we go. Whoa. That was interesting. So did I read that correctly? I did. That was a 6. So we are now under a 60 kilometer per hour speed limit. There is that shed that a train can park in overnight if it wants to, or at any point during the day. I'm not sure how often that gets used nowadays. Might have been for the business in the area. I don't know. You can see there's a track going to and from that idling track, so it becomes a station platform track as well for trains to use. And then we have this one as well. It's obvious now why we had to get down to 60. We were taking the junction that requires you to go 60. There's the Murnau, which is where we're going, to Munich, which is where we're not going. We're going to start putting a heavy brake application on here because I did not brake anything more coming into the station. So we're going to need that heavy brake at this point to slow down in time. I might have an overshoot, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be okay. Never mind. It's not going to overshoot. I'm going to be okay. Back to 35% brakes. Ooh, it's going to be close, but I'm going to stay on the platform. Actually, it's not even close. It's not even close. There's room. So, opening the doors at Murnau. Leaving Murnau. Our next stop is Ohlstadt. Leaving at 60 kilometers per hour because we're going to take a junction back into the other line. Then we're going to be coming into an 80 kilometer per hour section. That days of 110 are gone. Well, not really days, we're going to get another day, but 80 is now our limit, so we can proceed to that new... Oh, we're having downhill. Let's keep it at minimum power as we cross this down. I believe that's a highway going over us there. Ooh, nice view. So yeah, this is a 1 in 46 downhill gradient. I'm going to keep the speed low on purpose on this gradient, because this is absolutely ridiculous. We got a little over 5 kilometers to go to get to Ohlstadt, so we are good. It's about 6 kilometers from the station, I believe. A little over that. So we're just going to try to maintain this 80 range by staying under 78. That's logical. Might as well go to 79 at this point. We just want to make sure we don't miss it going to a higher speed. And doing a little bit at a time rather than a quick back and forth means less chance to cause problems. The fewer button pushes you need to actually get the job done, the better. But you need to maintain enough speed as well, so rather than cutting the speed down to 40 and crawling down the hill, we'll keep it at least at 77. That seems like a logical thing to do. 76, 77 minimum. I did not really notice what that distance signal said, so there's a good chance I'm going to screw something up here. If that distance signal has a 6 on it for some strange reason. I don't think it would. We're too far away from a station, so we should be okay. Oh, we're at the bottom of the hill. I can stop slowing down. Perfect. So we're going to move into a 120, but there is an 80 up ahead. That's convenient. Bridges. Another nice overhead view. Icy river. Gonna take advantage of the brief moment that we can go ahead and increase speed. We're not gonna try and push it to 120 because we're coming up to Ohlstadt anyway. And we're probably gonna have a signal restriction. So 100 is good enough. Let's just take it at 100 and coast. Or 101, or 100. Or 99. So we're going to get our signal warning here for possibly nothing, but you never know. Nope, no signal problem, but we do an 80 up ahead, so we have to slow down anyway. And if we're not at 80 by the time we get to that point before the station in this weather, we got a serious problem. We might not be able to stop at that point. I mean, we still probably would be able to, but... So you saw that little dot under the green signal. That does have an indication that we're going to a slower speed, which is interesting because we're doing that anyway with the sign up ahead. I don't think it's referring to a 60, but I'm going to slow down a little bit just in case it is, and I'm going to zoom in to verify this. So we're going to use our super secret binocular powers here. We're going to find out that I did not screw up today. 80 is indeed our speed here. We should be slowing down anyway, so I'm okay with that. I'm just going to crawl in here. We have enough time to make this stop. A whole minute. And I should have actually tripped the brakes a little sooner, because now I am probably going to overshoot. Heavy brake application. This may still do the job. This may still do the job. This is potentially still going to do the job. It may do the job. I've eased off the brakes now because this might do the job. And it did the job. Doors have opened at Ohlstadt, Gleis 2, or Platform 2. Leaving Ohlstadt. Our next stop is Eschenlohe. Stopping at platform number 2 again. Now we're going to go ahead and increase our speed a little bit. We want to get ourselves up to 80. We're going to eventually be moving into a 110. So I said the times for that were gone. We're getting it back right now. We're going to lower our power for right now because we are getting to the end of our current speed limit. In fact, are we going to be past the sign by the time we... No, we're not. Take it off. Take it off. We can tolerate that. That's okay. We can take the 2-point penalty. We have enough points to tolerate the 2-point penalty. That just means we only have 1,006 points available to us, which is still a perfect score. Well, I like having the extra little buffer room there. Yeah, just a slight misjudgment on that. It happens. There's Eschenlohe coming up. We could have a 60 coming up at the signal. I do not know this. Given the amount of time we have to make this stop, I'm going to act like we do have a 60 at that signal. Because we need to come to a stop appropriately at the station anyway, and in this weather, the extra room to stop is not a bad idea. Binocular is looking ahead at the signal. We have flashing, and it's a 6. That actually gives you a better view of the signal. We do have a 6. So I should zoom ahead to see what the flashing number is, because that's a good view of that, and we know exactly what we're doing then. I've not been seeing those clearly as they pass by, so definitely saw that one because I zoomed in on it. So I'm under 70 now. That's a good start. So that should be good for coasting at this point. Yeah, we're going to be fine. We're fine here. This is good. Oh, now it hangs. Teasing me here. Nope. Nope. You're not doing that to me. You're not doing that. No, you're not doing that today. Don't even try. Hit a downhill as you go into a slow speed limit. Good move. Good move. Downhill as you hit a slow speed limit. Hey, look, a train. That's the Oberau to Starnberg service. I didn't know Oberau had its own service. You learn something every day. We still have time to make this stop without going over the second, but we're going to put a heavier brake application on once we're fully in the platform, which we're now fully in the platform. So here we go, heavier brake application. Yay! Doors will now open at Eschenlohe. Leaving Eschenlohe, our next stop is going to be at Oberau. Looks like we're under a new 60 km/h speed limit, so we're going to abide by that. Interesting how you only have 110 inside the station platform. What's the point of having 110 in the station platform if you're going to have 60 on each side? Logic? Anyone? Am I the only one who thinks something's wrong with that? We seem to be stuck in this rut at 60 right now. We're not being allowed to increase our speed, which is unfortunate. We still have lots of time for our stop. We have about 5 miles to go, 5.5 miles to go to get to Oberau. But we're losing a lot of speed given we're only stuck at 60 right now. So every kilometer lost is much more of an impact than if we were losing it at a higher speed limit. This 120 coming up is going to be a bit of a relief for us. Let's take a quick look outside the window here at the vehicles here. Or the window, vehicles, the buildings here. Beautiful little neighborhood along the side of the track. Well, lovely. And there's your level crossing. And now back to the wilderness. So there we go, back in the cab. We're going to hit our 100 kilometer per hour stretch now, which is why I want to get back in the cab to concentrate on getting his speed up. Here we go. Maybe those buildings are why that area is 60. That could be something to do with it. Lower the amount of noise that they have to hear. Okay, we are at around our speed limit now, so we should be able to maintain this until close to Oberau. Not sure how close, but we will see. I nearly sped there. I nearly sped. Thankfully, 100.1 in a 100 is not against the law. Okay, are we going to have any kind of a signal warning ahead? Let's find out. Three, two, one. Zoom in. Nope. We're still going to want to stop anyway for natural reasons. It is a stop. We still have Farchant on the other side of this. Then we're going to be going to Munich, or sorry, to Garmisch-Partenkirchen as our final stop. So we're going to slow down anyway because it makes sense to slow down. Oops, I didn't want to increase the brakes anymore. We should be good to go past 60 into this section. We're being warned about the 60 coming up. That's after the station. We have a minute and a half to make this stop. That is plenty of time going 60 kilometers an hour. That's a kilometer a minute. We're half a kilometer from the station. Plenty of time. Doing math during video is dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. A dangerous, dangerous commentator here. Okay, let's go ahead and do a full stop now. Get those doors open on time. We're close enough to the end of the platform that I'm happy with my position for the next stop. Or for the next departure, I should say. Doors will open now at Oberau. Leaving Oberau, our next stop is Farchant, leaving at a speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour, as indicated on the signage entering the station. We're going to have a 100 eventually coming along the line. We are about 3.5 kilometers now from our stop at Farchant, or Farchant, however you want to say that. Every time the sunlight hits that red emergency brake handle, I believe that's what it is, the emergency brake handle. Oh, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't highlight. Never mind. Every time the sun hits that, though, I think a light comes on for some reason. A little distracting. So, you know I'm distracted by red lights, which is probably a good thing in a train. Because red light up ahead would mean you better not get distracted from that. That's for sure. Oh, we're in the 100 now. Let's get up to speed, shall we? Burst up there efficiently. Oh, Farchant's right there. Never mind. Let's just go ahead and keep it nice and casual in case there's any kind of thing happening to that signal up ahead. I don't think there is. Farchant usually doesn't have one. So usually I don't get slowed down coming into Farchant. There's always a first time, though. Then peering ahead here. It's just a solid green, no number indicated. We're all good. Okay, we're going to play around and see what kind of braking power I can get at about 7/10 of a mile from the station. Time to play around and see what we can get. Let's get this up to 100 if I can. We're going to play with this. Here we go. Let's do some braking now. 35% brake application just to see what we get. Just out of interest. So it takes about a little over 4/10 of a mile. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, that's a good indication of the distance it takes to slow down. So we're going to slow down a little bit more at a 30% brake at this point. Now we definitely want to come to a stop within the station. We have time to make this stop, so I'm going to ease off the brakes so the entire train can get into the platform preferably. In fact, I'm going to increase my speed so I can get the entire train in the platform preferably. Before we actually have to stop. Now I will start stopping. The train is doing some bouncing here. That is interesting. We are fully in the platform, so I'm going to increase that brake application at this time. I'm going to actually coast for a moment here because I have the ability to do so. I have until 9:52:30, but I'm going to stop it early because we were late last time on the other scenario by 3 seconds for some stupid reason. So we're not going to take chances here. We're fully in the platform. Let's not overshoot. Arrival at Farchant with one stop at the terminus. Leaving Farchant. Our final stop is at Garmisch-Partenkirchen, platform number 3 today. Our speed limit coming out is 100 kilometers per hour. This will drop to 40 by the time we roll into Garmisch. We will not be able to continue because the route terminates in both directions, whichever way we choose to go, or whichever way we're forced to go. Though a red signal will kind of make it hard for us to do that anyway. So that's fine. We're not going to be able to go past it. Remember the math we did earlier, it's 106 points away from a perfect score. We can take a small speeding penalty again, but we prefer not to, because that's just the cheap way to do it. That's just the cheap way to a perfect score, taking a tiny speeding penalty just for the sake of taking one. Don't want to do that. So we're staying on minimum power right now. We do have another 3 miles to, or 3 kilometers. Add another one in swear jar, kids. 3 kilometers to go to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. And there it is in the distance because we're 3 kilometers away, and that's how it tends to work. We're gonna... Where's the speed limit drop? I fully expect speed limit drops here, guys. We have lots of time for this stop, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and let the train coast right now. Maybe even slow down a little bit myself just to prepare for it. Because I am fairly sure I'm going to be dropped at that signal to a 40. Fairly sure of it. There's no way we're going to be there in 40 seconds. I don't know why the HUD thinks we're going to be there in 40 seconds. That's absolutely laughable. The 2 minutes seems more likely at this point. And that assumes I stop on time. Let's see what our signal indicator says here for our final stop. It is telling us nothing. You can see the route terminus up ahead here. That again is a route design function. They could have continued a little bit further just for the sake of continuity purposes, just so it didn't look like it was terminating on the HUD. But they didn't want to go 3 kilometers beyond Garmisch because that's extra development work that they really don't get anything for. So I can't blame them for not doing that. And again, you get to see that part when you go to the Innsbruck route anyway. It's too bad they weren't able to update a little bit of the track onto this and continue the track for the purpose of continuity. But, hey. So I just have a feeling I need to get down to 40 for this section up ahead. I don't know why. I just feel that. And I feel this is a dangerous, dangerous prediction for me to make. But I'm making it. Look at this view, guys. Just a road, but look at the view. Am I right? Are we going into a 40 speed limit? No, we're still on a 100. I could have actually just cruised in at this point. Wow. Okay, so we're not taking any junctions to the side tracks here. We could have just come in at 100. We would have been fine. There are trains here. Look at that. A delayed Garmisch train and a Garmisch to Munich train are both hanging out here. And there's our platform marker up ahead as well. I need to get this train stopped on time. Let's hope I'm not late on this. Start braking now. That's good enough. We are doing heavy brakes as we're at the end of the scenario. I want to get this thing stopped. Doors should be open on time. Maybe 1 or 2 seconds late. That shouldn't be too bad. Let's look at the train. So we're going to wrap our look at the Talent 442 on Garmisch-Partenkirchen route by looking at Garmisch-Partenkirchen building. So there you go. That's the station building, I believe, right there. And a nice big station building, which you expect on a hub train station, which this kind of is a hub of 2 routes if you think about it. So it counts as a hub train station. There you go. We're done here, so let's... Never mind, we're not going to get the headlights off. I was about to, but we're not going to be able to now. Well done, driver. It was a difficult run, but you persevered. Before we proceed to Innsbruck... Oh, it is continuing. Good thing I didn't shut the lights down. Let's see how you did. Okay, that means we're going to the scoring screen, guys. Hello. Yep, we're on time. 1,000 points. Unlocked the Rush to Garmisch task, which only requires 700 points, coincidentally enough. So there we go. We got all 3 of those. I don't know if there's any other achievements that I haven't seen for this pack, but since it's a 3 scenario pack, and the only other things I can imagine are drive the train for a certain number of hours, and I would imagine I would have already gotten that because I've driven so many versions of this train by now. So I should have already gotten credit for that if there was such a thing, unless you have to drive this specific one. I don't know. But in any case, yeah, the timeliness is there. We got our little speeding mark there. But like I said, that's only 2 points out of 1,008. We got 1,006, basically, and we only get credit for 1,000, naturally. So there's that. That's the end of that. So, yeah, that's the end of that 3 scenario pack. That takes us through another week of train simulator action. Not really much else to say here. I think I'm going to go with the Class 66 next, so keep an eye out for that. If I don't, I'm going to have other ideas in mind for things to do. I know in September I am going to be away from the house for a couple weeks. I don't know if I'm going to take my computer with me to do recording on the run, so I'm going to have some stuff ready to go for that just in case. But just if there is any kind of new route announced, I'm going to have to find some way to get some of that content up as well, because I want to show you any new route that might come along, or if there's a new train DLC that looks really, really interesting, I want to play that as well. So naturally, I want to see that. So, or if there's something useful for something else, who knows? So I'll keep an eye on those kinds of things in the future. I have been looking up different train routes on the timetables as well, so I'm also trying to figure out some interesting things to drive based on those timetables in case I decide I want to make something, because then we can put some good trains on those scenarios. Been looking up the Liverpool to Manchester. Looks very interesting. Lots of trains that go into Liverpool. Could be interesting for scenarios. But in any case, we're done here. Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye out on this playlist for more Garmisch-Partenkirchen scenarios. And we're going to eventually do Innsbruck as well. It will be a separate playlist when we do Innsbruck, but we are going to do Innsbruck at some point. So keep an eye out for that in the future, and I'll have to educate you on that route as well. In the meantime, like I said, have a wonderful day, evening, or afternoon. I will see you next time, probably for the Class 66, maybe something else, but we'll see. I'll see you next time for that. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.